Tomorrow on American Idol, the top 11 sing the songs of Elton John. Your local news is next.
You have a better choice tonight at 10 p.m. Watch Lee Zurich and Kim Holden each weeknight on Fox 8, Louisiana's home team.
Oh, my car is going to be trashed. That's some hail, man.
Hail, high water, and damaging winds. We have Fox 8 weather team coverage.
What a stormy night. No, these aren't golf balls. These are hail pictures. What do you see? What I got to show you just ahead.
I just don't understand why Facebook won't just give us the pictures back or destroy them.
A murder victim's family sues Facebook over images posted by an EMT.
And we got a picture of him up there.
It's a breakfast club for old men, and the topic du jour, football and politics. I'm Dave McNamara. I'll have that story coming up in tonight's Heart of Louisiana.
Fox 8 News at 9 starts right now.
Live in HD with John Snell, Nancy Parker, and Lee Zurich. Chief Meteorologist Bob Brett. And sports with John Henry Smith. This is WVUE-TV New Orleans, Fox 8 News at 9.
Southeast Louisiana takes a beating tonight from a powerful storm system. We're getting numerous reports about street flooding, large hail, and high winds. Some of the worst damage is reported on the west bank of Jefferson Parish and in Belchicks. Good evening. We have Fox 8 weather team coverage over the next 90 minutes.
First, let's get an updated look at radar from Bob Breck.
Well, you know, if you were with us at 5, we told you it was going to be a stormy evening. Indeed, it has been. Let me first off begin with our tower camera. And what I'm doing is this is the Washington Avenue Canal that was way up earlier. It's come down a lot now, and this was racing like a river. So I can assure you that the pumps were fully working tonight. But the problem is when we get this kind of rain in such a short period of time, the pumping capacity is exceeded. Now, this band, we're looking at the South Shore. This is Lake Pontchartrain out to the north. Here's the causeway that goes up across the lake there. This band right in through here had 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. Now, notice it's not everywhere. Out in New Orleans East, you didn't get nearly as much. You didn't get much along the Bonneville lakefront. Did have this little wedge out here in parts of Metairie, but south of you, boy, did you get clobbered with the rain. Now, in with that 2 to 3 to 4 inches of rainfall were some stunning pictures of hail. And we thank our weather observers from sending this in. This is courtesy of Billy from Gretna. Nah, this is not snow on the ground. He's looking out his patio door at hail covering the ground. Look at that. It does look like snow. Now, this is not the, practice range at Chateau Country Club, and you have golf balls out there. No, this is hail sent in from Tammy Kaiser, St. Rose. And you see some of these, look at that. You got some pretty good-sized hailstones. So Tammy picked up a couple of those stones. Take a look at this one here. Woohoo! That's a 2-inch hailstone. And notice you can clearly see how these things accumulate ice around a core. And that's because they get blown up and down in the thunderstorms, and each time they get blown back up into the freezing level, it puts another layer around it, and then it comes back down, gets blown back up. So it may start out this size, but in its growing process, it ends up quite large. So these were some pretty exciting storm pictures that were sent in tonight. Now, the tornado watch box has not been canceled yet, but this is the cell here that has now since moved on offshore and moving away from us. That's the one that caused all the hail. We have new showers breaking out to our west, and that is some concern. This new watch box, the yellow one, is a severe thunderstorm watch box that does not include us, but you get the idea that later tonight that probably will be extended a little farther to the east. Now, let me switch over to our Viper model and just show you what's been going on tonight. We had this warm front surge out of the Gulf of Mexico with fast-moving upper winds from the west as a little upper air disturbances approach us, and that's what's triggered our round of weather. We're not done, I don't think, with more storms, but they're not likely to come until after midnight. Notice we have new showers that are breaking out on the North Shore. These are going to be moving across St. Tammany and Lower Tangipahoa during the next hour. There's another shower there. And again, these don't look like the other ones. They're not severe yet, but we just have a very juiced atmosphere. We'll come southward and show you that the bad storm, again, look at the almost a bow echo here as that's pushing off the coast. That, as it moved across lower Plaquemines, we've got reports of wind gusts to over 100 miles an hour. Woo! That is serious. That's, you know, hurricane force plus winds. And yeah, that's the kind that can do a lot of damage. But again, that is now off the coast. So all the warnings, the only warnings we got now are flood warnings that should come down shortly as the pumps have caught up. New showers forming down to our south. But at the moment, we are in a little lull here that hopefully won't fill in later on tonight. But I suspect that we are not done with the severe weather yet. Now, take a look at what we have here. Our temperatures rain cooled back into the 70s, but notice the front probably lies in this position here. And you have, say, the cold front still back to our west. Now, as this low moves across tonight, we'll be in the warm air sector, and that's why we still have the potential. Notice the 50s. It's only 50 up at Dallas this evening, and the winds are from the north at 20+ miles an hour behind the front. That's what's coming for later tomorrow. But overnight, it looks like we could get stormy once again. Hope you got your weather radios. If not, we'll be on every hour all night. We'll have Kim Vaughn, Chris Franklin, Don Brown, the whole weather crew here to keep you informed. Right now, we're in a break, thank goodness. It's given the pumps some time to catch up, guys.
So does it seem to you that the worst is over? Does that next cell that's on the way look like it has a punch, or is it just more aggravating rain?
Well, sometimes, Nancy, when you get these severe weather bouts move on through, they kind of drain the atmosphere for a while, and it takes maybe a number of hours for the atmosphere to recharge. I think right now we're pretty safe until sometime maybe 1, 2 in the morning, and then it could get active once again as the cold front approaches. Hopefully, if we're lucky, this will all be out of here before morning drive. My concern is if it lingers into morning drive, it could be a very difficult rush hour coming on into work. But we've rerun the Viper model, and we'll let you see what it's showing when I return.
And again, this is a lesson to folks that, you know, when these spring storms pop up, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. So that's why your warnings earlier were so important.
Well, funny, Nancy, we did indicate, and we showed you that the model, these computer models are getting better and better, 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. And sure enough, that's what's happened this evening over some parts. The North Shore, you didn't get much out of this at all. However, maybe you'll get more tonight when the second round arrives. Right now, the South Shore is the one that's gotten hammered.
All right, Bob, thanks.
Well, extremely high winds that Bob mentioned have left damage along a stretch of Manhattan Boulevard on the West Bank.
And Natasha Robbins live there to show us.
Well, Nancy, it was still raining just a little while ago here in the West Bank, so emergency crews are just beginning to assess the damage. We are on Manhattan Boulevard, just past Gretna Boulevard. We're in the parking lot of a shopping center. Many people believe a tornado blew through here. That is not confirmed, but I want to show you the power lines all along Manhattan. They are all bent over. Lights are out. We're told those poles look like that from Gretna Boulevard to Lapelco. Windows of the shopping center where we are now are blown out. There's debris all over the place and still a couple of inches of water in some parts of this parking lot. 18,000 people are now without power, a majority of them here on the West Bank. Joining me now, Councilman Chris Roberts. Tell me, what other damage have you heard about on the West Bank, and what did this thing look like when it came through? You said around 7:15 tonight.
Well, it was very intense rain. We had very strong winds along with hail. We saw a lot of damage from power poles in addition to trees, some roof damage. We understand there are some homes that had windows blown out. This particular shopping center here had the storefront blown in. There was also a gas leak at Walmart, which caused the evacuation of that store there earlier.
Okay, and you told me earlier about a fire. Tell me about that fire.
Right, we understand that there was a fire at a church in West Wego, that it was struck by lightning, and that fire was pretty intense, and that was a total loss there.
Okay, and Sheriff, we have the Sheriff here, Sheriff Newell Norman. Tell me, we have some streets blocked off. I know Manhattan Boulevard is blocked off.
Well, at the present time, we're asking all of the residents in the area of Manhattan between Lapelco and the West Bank Expressway to please stay in their homes as much as possible. We have probably 50 to 60 power poles that are down from what we're able to assess at the present time. So about 30 minutes ago, I shut Manhattan Boulevard down between West Bank Expressway and Lapelco Boulevard so that we can get the work trucks in, the power lines that are down without any traffic impeding that progress. So it'll probably be shut down for the rest of the evening through the early morning till we can get this mess cleaned up.
Any idea? We had heard that there were some cars that had gone into canals. Do you have any reports of that? Anybody hurt seriously, or any deaths that we know of at this point?
Nothing that we know of at this point. We're still assessing what damage there is. It wasn't just limited to this stretch of Manhattan. There was also flooding throughout the West Bank, and we're in the process of assessing what damage occurred throughout all of those areas. We understand that there's some more weather that's possibly coming through later, so we're asking everybody to hunker down and do not go out on the road unless you absolutely, positively have to, because traffic is impeding the progress that we're trying to make in getting this mess cleaned up.
Okay, and should folks call? I know like some trees down in streets and stuff like that. Is there a number that folks can call to say, hey, we're having problems here, this needs to be blocked off? If
there's significant damage or areas of concern, they can call 911. They take non-emergency calls as well, and they can document that. And we will be forwarding that information to Public Works, to the Sheriff's Office, Fire Department, and other folks that need to respond.
Okay, Sheriff, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you very much. John and Nancy, really a big mess here on the West Bank. And as I said, we still have some flooded streets. We passed on the way over here. I was looking off over the expressway. We hadn't got into some of the neighborhoods. We were hearing damage in the neighborhoods as well. We heard some roofs were blown off. We haven't gotten back there to see, but we do have some windows out on this shopping center in particular, and this looks like the worst of it right here with those power lines. As I said, that's going from Gretna Boulevard all the way down to Lapelco. So a big mess here, and basically you heard the sheriff say, stay inside, hunker down, and stay off of the roads. Back to you.
All right, Natasha Robin live on the West Bank. Thank you. Let's check in now with Bagad Shaban on the phone from Plaquemines Parish.
Well, Nancy, I'm here in Belchase, actually at 103 Avenue A, just off of Belchase Highway. And this, according to sheriff's deputies, is actually the worst damage they've seen so far. I'm actually...
Well, obviously we've lost Bagad Shaban, but we'll get an update from him. It may very well be that there's a lot of cell phone traffic out there, for one thing, because people calling and saying my power is out and whatnot, but we'll check in on the situation there later. In the meantime, several Fox 8 viewers sent us pictures and video of severe weather. Stephen Nicolay emailed this video of a lightning strike in Laplace. Wow. He was driving home, just exiting I-10 West. You can hear him when a thunderbolt hit a tree right in front of his car, or right next to it.
Yeah, we're getting some pretty decent hail here, guys. Oh, my car is going to be trashed. That's some hail.
The reports of large hail are widespread and include both sides of the river. Shortly after 6 tonight, we received the video from one of our viewers in Laplace. People in St. Rose also report large hail, as we'll show you later on. And we have another weather update from Bob Breck coming up at the bottom of the hour.
In the meantime, New Orleans police are searching for the person who shot a man in the Quarter this afternoon. It took place about 4:15 in the 900 block of Dumaine, which is just off North Rampart, Burgundy, and Dauphine. Police say a 26-year-old was shot in the chest on a 3rd floor in the bathroom. They say a neighbor heard the shot and called 911. Police have not released the guy's name. They say he was taken to the hospital, where he is in stable condition tonight.
New Orleans police have identified a suspect in last Friday's murder at a Treme nightclub. Police have issued a warrant for 29-year-old Floyd Domino. They say he'll be charged with murder and 3 counts of attempted murder for the quadruple shooting at the Domino Effect Club. That's when the NOPD says an altercation outside the club ended with 1 dead and 3 wounded. The students of St. Andrew the Apostle will not have school tomorrow after nearly 20 teachers requested leave.
The school has been embroiled in controversy over staff issues for the last couple of weeks. The Office of Catholic Schools decided to cancel classes because many of the teachers plan to attend a job fair.
Right now, students are in the middle of taking state tests, and St. Andrews is unable to bring in enough substitutes to cover the teachers that won't be there. The tests have been rescheduled for next week, and this is just the latest in a controversy that's been brewing at the school. The principal was let go a couple of weeks ago.
A technology coordinator, a coach, and guidance counselor were also let go. Parents say the pastor told them he's taking the school in a different direction. Now, some parents are upset that in the middle of testing, their children will have to stay home. Others say that it's time to move on and stop asking questions.
I think it's terrible. I really do. My daughter's pretty upset because they pay, a lot of money for the children to come here. And it's upsetting to the parents and the children.
Our school will not recover if he is not removed. Our school will not recover. Our families will not recover. People will completely lose faith in the Catholic Church and in our community. I mean, the community is at great risk.
I think it should have stayed within here, within the parish. And I don't think it should have been blown up like that. And I think that everybody has to act a little bit more Christian.
The interim principal, Marie Cannon, says the school will be closed tomorrow for the safety of the students. The day will be made up at the end of the year. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear workers have been praised as heroes, but they're working in the most miserable of conditions. Workers say they're living on crackers for breakfast, some canned goods, and rice for dinner. There aren't enough showers. The company, TEPCO, says they get deliveries to the plant a couple times a day. CNN obtained an email from a worker who wrote, "Crying is useless. If we're in hell now, all we can do is crawl up toward heaven." The company and the government say they're working to improve conditions for the workers.
Well, the U.S. Supreme Court hands the New Orleans DA's office a victory worth millions.
We'll tell you about the case involving a former death row inmate exonerated after more than a decade in prison.
After years on the sideline, this CBD landmark is back in the game.
This is the old High Tops bar in its current state.
Come along as Jennifer Hale takes you on an exclusive look at the work being done at the Hyatt Regency. Tonight on Fox 8 News at 10.
Has your business suffered losses from the BP oil spill? I'm attorney Frank D'Amico Jr., and I can help you recover those losses. But deadlines are quickly approaching and time is running out. Call a local attorney you know and trust. Call me today.
This is comparable to the Corolla. Why do so many car companies compare themselves to Corolla? Maybe it's because Corolla is the #1 selling car of all time. Or because the Corolla was awarded a 2011 IIHS Top Safety Pick. Now get $1,500 cash back on a new 2010 Corolla, or choose 0 APR for 60 months. And every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, featuring 2 years complimentary maintenance. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
I chose SafeLink. My mom lives alone, and it's important she reach me in an emergency.
Emergencies happen. Be safe. Stay connected with SafeLink, a free government-supported cell phone with up to 250 free monthly minutes. SafeLink offers free minutes for calling, texting, national long distance, and 411 directory assistance, all with superior coverage, plus free 911.
I love my mom and promise to always have her back with SafeLink.
250 free monthly minutes. Call 1-800-SafeLink or visit safelink.com today.
Has your business suffered losses from the BP oil spill? I'm attorney Frank D'Amico Jr., and I can help you recover those losses. But deadlines are quickly approaching and time is running out. Call a local attorney you know and trust. Call me today.
How is it that folks will travel halfway across the world to see a famous church or painting, but so often ignore the seminal monuments in their own hometown?
Chris Rose talks about hometown tourism, or the lack of it, tomorrow on Fox 8 News at 10. You're watching Fox 8 News.
New Orleans police report some of the worst street flooding is uptown at Jackson and Britannia and Felicity at Calliope.
Scattered power failures are reported in the City Park area near the UNO Lakefront Arena and also near Carrollton and St. Charles. In the meantime, let's get a look at some of the damage in Plaquemines Parish. Bagad Shaban is in Belle Chase.
Well, John, we're at 103 Avenue A, just off Belle Chase Highway over here, and this is actually some of the worst damage, according to sheriff's deputies. This building right here actually had the front part of the wall separated from the rest of the building. You kind of get a sense of it by looking at the door over there. We're here with the property owner, Mr. Bill Hall. Sir, tell us what happened.
Well, I got a call from one of the tenants, and she said that it appeared that a small tornado actually hit the property. She could, she felt the pressure drop. The hail was coming down, the wind was just blowing, and this door on Suite 101 was actually blown completely off, and I think the sheriff's office came and put it back up, but you can see where the bottom of the sill is actually blown off of the foundation right there.
And what other damage have you seen in the area?
Well, our other property just behind it, 8490 Highway 23, has all of the roll-up doors that are blown in right now. And there is a building behind that that belongs to our neighbor that looks like it's completely demolished. I can't see back there because it's not, there's no light.
When I was talking to a deputy earlier, he said there were actually 5 people inside that were hiding in a closet during the storm.
Well, no, actually they were in Suite 101 right here at the Casa Center, and I believe they were in the building when the door blew off.
So. And unfortunately, we're hearing that they're all okay.
Everything's fine. They're all fine. I'm sure they were a little shaken, but they're fine.
And when you got the call, what was your reaction?
Well, we waited for the weather to clear, and as soon as it did, we came over here, just to check and assess the damage.
And in terms of cost, what are you thinking? Are there any estimates?
God, I don't know. I already contacted the insurance agent, and they said they'd put a claim in the morning, and I guess an adjuster will come out hopefully in the morning, hopefully. So.
And where are the 5 people right now?
I'm assuming they're home.
Do they have to go to the hospital at all?
No, not that I'm aware of. No. Everyone's fine as far as I know.
Well, Mr. Hall, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much. I'm glad everyone's okay.
All right.
And John, at this point, what we're hearing is that there have been no reports so far of any flooding inside homes, although we did see one business coming down Belchess Highway that it did appear to get some water. We also saw some down power lines, down light poles, even a train crossing sign that was actually over on the street. That's really some of the worst damage that we're seeing at this point.
All right, Bagash Band live tonight in Belchase.
Well, Supreme Court ruling means victory for the Orleans Parish DA's office. We'll have more on that when we come back.
Closed captioning of Fox 8 News is brought to you by the Bianchini Tully Insurance Agency. Make sure you have enough coverage for your car, truck, and home.
I was driving to Northern California. My son was asleep.
I really didn't see it coming.
I didn't realize I was drifting into the other lane.
It got my attention, telling me that I wasn't paying attention.
I had no idea the guy in front of me had stopped short, but my car did.
My car did.
Thankfully, my Mercedes did.
A world you can't predict demands a car you can trust. The E-Class. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for exceptional offers through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services.
Hey, would you mind if I asked Sheila out?
Of course not. We broke up 6 months ago. But I don't think she'd go for a guy like...
She said she'd love to. She can't wait to see me. She's wanted me to ask her out for over a year now. She just sent me a video.
Hi, Steve. Can I see that?
Yeah.
Can't wait for our date.
In the network, sparks fly faster. AT&T is getting faster with 4G. Rethink possible.
Our economy has certainly done better than the region and the country's economy, but we are impacted by this national recession. We can't get complacent. We can't be satisfied with the progress we made. There's still too many Louisiana families struggling to pay their bills. Still too many Louisiana families worried about where their next paycheck's going to come from, worried about whether they're still going to have a job next week or not. My #1 job is creating jobs. That's why we're forcing government to do more with less. I've made it very clear. As governor, we're not raising taxes in the state of Louisiana.
Whoa, you went to a Subway restaurant. What are you saving up for? Are you buying a private island?
No.
Building your own space station?
No.
Are you getting a robot butler?
No.
Upgrading to bionic legs?
What? No.
Are you building a secret city at the bottom of the ocean?
No. I just like saving money on the food I like.
Oh, I knew that.
Every day after 4 p.m. and all day Sunday, you can get any regular footlong sub for only $5, any 2 for $9, or any 3 for $12. Subway, eat fresh.
What's all the buzz about? There's a brand new way to save in New Orleans. BargainB.com brings you exclusive daily deals featuring different local businesses at 50 to 90% off their everyday pricing. By promising local businesses lots of customers, we're able to bring you the sweetest deals around. But we can't do it without you. BargainB.com is more than just a discount site. It's a community, and together we can save. Once you see what all the buzz is about, you'll want to tell your friends about it. It's the fun way to save. BargainB.com.
You're watching Fox 8 News.
An exonerated death row inmate will not see his $14 million after a U.S. Supreme Court ruling today.
The 5-4 vote means a major victory for the Orleans Parish DA's office and a reversal for John Thompson, who spent 14 years on death row. Meg Gatto has that story.
John Thompson says the news was shocking.
The coach explained what happened. The coach
still didn't do anything about what happened.
In 1987, Thompson was convicted on robbery and murder charges. A prosecutor and then District Attorney Harry Connick's office later admitted to withholding evidence in the robbery case. Following the murder conviction, Thompson was sentenced to death. But both cases were overturned, and that's when Thompson filed suit. A U.S. District Court awarded $14 million. The DA's office appealed, and today the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of the District Attorney's office.
The decision this morning by the United States Supreme Court definitively removes a dark cloud of uncertainty that I found hanging over the District Attorney's office when I arrived here in November of 2008.
Cannizzaro says the judgment would have bankrupted his office.
The judgment that was overturned this morning threatened to effectively shut down the DA's office and set back many meaningful reforms implemented in our criminal justice system over the past 2 years.
But Thompson says he should be compensated for almost being put to death. Now he wants to see change.
I'm here to tell y'all that there's a lot of more innocent men still behind prison because of the same group of people. We didn't hear yet one time from this district attorney or no district attorney or what they're gonna do about just what's going on.
But Cannizzaro says his office is properly training prosecutors and will work hard to make sure a mistake like this one never happens again.
I train my assistant district attorneys to fight hard for the citizens of this community, but I demand of them that they fight fair. This district attorney's office will continue to play by the rules.
Meg Gatto, Fox 8 News.
John Thompson says he's received $150,000 from the state to compensate him for his 18 years in prison, and now he's spending his time trying to help other men and women wrongfully convicted try to get their lives back on track.
The old hotel at Canal and Claiborne will come tumbling down soon. The demolition contract for the building, once known as Claiborne Towers, is being signed this week.
I think I worked there about 7 years.
The hotel, once one of the city's most prestigious, falls in the LSU Medical Center footprint. Recent years has become an eyesore. Even recently harbored paintball snipers firing pellets at passers-by. It's one of hundreds of structures in the 20-block area between Canal and Tulane, Claiborne, and North Rocheblave that'll be wiped away. Hospital proponents say medical care and medical education has waited long enough. Historic preservationists now wait for an agreement with the city to save as many as 20 other buildings.
Our weather team coverage of tonight's severe storms continues. More on the problems it's caused and what might still be coming.
Whew. After a night like this, gang, the little fella's whooped. Is there more to come? I'll let you know coming up on Fox 8 at 9.
Comparable to the Toyota. Why do so many car companies compare themselves to Toyota? Maybe it's because Toyota is the #1 choice among consumers, or because of vehicles like RAV4, named a best overall value of the year. Get $1,000 cash on a new 2011 RAV4. Lease it for $259 a month or choose 1.9 APR. And every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, featuring 2 years complimentary maintenance. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
The Boat Show, March 31st through April 3rd. Save on personal watercraft, boats for fishing, skiing, cruising, and more. Bring the kids to see Twiggy the water skiing squirrel. Tickets are just $8. Kids under 12 free. Brought to you by your local dealers, Mercury Outboard and South Bay Pontoons.
With Charter, you get more than just movies. You get more ways to watch, with hot new releases and tons of free favorites on demand, plus premium channels and even more online. It's a movie lover's dream. Sign up for Charter TV today. Call 1-888-GET-CHARTER. More movies, more ways to watch. Charter TV.
When you call Tim Clark to elevate your home, we'll respond to your phone call within 24 hours, and we'll do all the paperwork for you. Look for Tim Clark signs coming soon to your neighborhood. Tim Clark Construction, your local elevation experts.
While others are content to imitate, we'll continue to innovate. The Lexus RX.
Why settle for a copy when you can own the original? Lease the 2011 RX 350 for $479 a month for 36 months with $34.54 due at signing. See your Lexus.
You're watching Fox 8 News.
I want to get back now to coverage of our severe weather and the massive power outages around our area. And joining us now by phone is Philip Allison from Entergy. And Mr. Allison, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
What are we talking about as far as numbers of people who are out of power tonight?
In the metro area, we have about 13,000 customers without power, and the largest number by far is on the West Bank. We're looking at about 10,000 customers without power over there.
Is it mainly that swath of Manhattan that was hit so badly, or is it just scattered all over the West Bank?
I think it's pretty scattered all over the place. When you're talking 10,000 customers on the West Bank, that's obviously going to cover a pretty large area.
How long do you think people will be out? I know they said that power lines at points were down on the ground. Some of them were hanging. It looked like pretty serious damage. This could take how long before people will get some relief?
Well, right now we have crews out in the field trying to assess the damage. We're also bringing some local crews in from other areas to help with restoration. As you can imagine, having the streets flooded in some areas is kind of slowing us down. We're going to make safety our #1 priority. We want to work as safely and as quickly as we can. In some areas, it frankly could be several hours before we get power on, maybe even in the early morning hours or tomorrow morning. But again, we'll know more about that once we get done with our assessments.
All right, so you're waiting for some of the waters to recede before you can even begin. So I guess your message tonight is patience for these folks.
Yeah, like I said, we are definitely working as quickly and as safely as we can. You know, I work with these linemen every day, and they take great pride in what they do, and they're going to work as hard and as quickly and as safely as they can to get those lights back on for people.
All right, Philip Allison from Entergy, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Now, your most accurate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Breck.
I think we've all heard the terms feast or famine. Say, when it rains, it pours. You look at this month, and you look and say, oh my gosh, we haven't had much rain after the 9th. But on those days, look at the gully washers. Well, we can add, after 19 days now of dry, no rain at all, on the 29th, we've had almost a half inches in Kenner. So this is going to go down in the books as a very wet month, but we've had this prolonged dry spell. We actually needed some rain. This is a good example why you need the weather alert radios from Midland that we offer through Walgreens. And again, not only the traditional model, but the mobile one that you can take with you. They go off, you program them for your parish if that's all you want. You can leave and get all the warnings if you so choose. But boy, the Storm Prediction Center, they had this one pretty much predicted. And we showed you this last night for heavy rain, hail, strong winds, and maybe an isolated tornado for all of Louisiana. Now, maybe this didn't extend as far north as the Storm Prediction Center said, but boy, it sure covered not only the Louisiana Gulf Coast, but the Mississippi Gulf Coast too. And tonight, we're still waiting to see, are they going to reissue this tornado watch box? The way it looks now, this is going to be allowed to expire. They have issued a new severe thunderstorm watch box out to our west, and you see it's this cluster of storms that has me a little nervous. That's a number of hours away. We're in a little gap right now, but boy, it has been kind of an active evening, and we've been fooling with radar so much that when you go 19 days without rain, it's like, oh my. Well, the big mess is away from us right now, but look what's forming back here. Now, it looks like this is almost a warm front coming back out of the Gulf. Well, that's what happened earlier today. We also have new warnings coming out to our north and west. So do I think we're done with the bad weather? No. That's why we're going to be on the hour here on Fox 8 all night. We're going to be updating the weather as the potential for severe weather remains there. So the North Shore, you're going to get a little bit of rain. There was one heavy thunderstorm that moved over here earlier. I said the North Shore didn't get much. Well, those of you across Tangipahoa, Independence, Gracie called in, had 2.5 inches of rain. Oh my. Now getting some rain across parts of St. Tammany. You didn't get much. We have rainfall totals coming up for you in a little bit. The big bad thunderstorm, here it is. This is the hail producer now that moved right across the city, across St. Bernard. This is the one that caused The wind gusts to over 100. Again, it's pushing away, so we're in a little lull right now, but that may change later on tonight. Let me show you some of these rainfall totals because it's kind of interesting what we have now. Well, this is the recap. In fact, this is from 3 p.m. this afternoon. Not much out there. Weather Service didn't even have the tornado watch box, but it didn't take them long because once it got started, we started to get these hail reports out to our west. And then that's kind of the showers and storms that moved across the city, and here they come, rumbling and stumbling, and they're by us now. So that's good news. Get them out of here. How much rain fell? Well, let's go to the North Shore. You didn't get much. And there's Gracie over in Independence. She had 2.5 inches. How about south? Nah, not much there either. You had to get a little farther north up towards, say, Thibodaux. Look at both Morgan City and Houma, only 1/4 inch. Paul and Clarence didn't get much. But boy, look at the amounts all around the city here. Woohoo! 2 to 3 inches of rain. Most of this came down in less than an hour, and that's why we had some minor street flooding. Down in Bouty, Angel said she had 6.5 inches of rain. Thank my weather observers for calling in. All right, so what is going on and what is causing all of this? Well, you see this little dip here. That's part of the problem. We've got to get that bias. We have an upper disturbance right here that's way to our north. You see it way up there? So it's this southern stream. What's happening is it looks like there's a little split right across Louisiana here that's enhancing our thunderstorms, and that's why I don't think we're done with the storms. You can almost see the cold air diving down, warm air. There's low pressure in here somewhere, and that's where the active weather is. Much drier air, that'll be with us sometime on Thursday. It's going to take a while to get here. Look at the watch boxes that the Storm Prediction Center has out tonight. And again, the frontal boundary is right down in our neighborhood. Now, let's go through and show you what this does tonight. We'll go until about 4 a.m. There's another round of weather coming on through. So that's why I want you to pay attention tonight. Daybreak could be tough sledding going on through. And then that's bias as we get to tomorrow afternoon and we start the drying process. Now, quickly, I'll go to our Viper model because I know there's those of you that are trying to get here from the North Shore tomorrow morning. Watch how quickly the rain gets out of here. This is 1 a.m. Most of the action is bias by 3, 4 in the morning, and just leftover rain. So maybe it won't be so bad for your morning drive around here. Hopefully, drier air will be coming in. Your drive home will be better. 83 tied the record high for today after morning lows that were in the 50s north, in the 60s south. Temperatures right now are kind of sultry outside, in the 60s, near 70. Winds generally out of the southeast. The offshore winds aren't that strong, although the seas have come up at 2 to 4 feet. So if you've been out and about, it's still a very muggy night. East winds at 7. The barometer is kind of low and it's falling. So tonight, tornado watch till 10 p.m. Showers and thunderstorms again. More heavy rainfall may be with us. Will be mild tonight. Tomorrow, leftover morning showers should be ending before noon. A better afternoon, hopefully. And the extended looks like we'll have a nice dry spell into the weekend. A brief cool down for Thursday, but we warm right back up on Friday. You know, that forecast actually after tonight gets a whole lot better, but we still got to get through tonight. Marine forecast, caution offshore. Seas are already up to 4. They'll be 3 to 5 tomorrow, and they'll slowly come down as we head towards the end of the week. The weather phone with the updated forecast, so give us a call again. Hourly updates tonight. Those of you who are night owls, just tune in on the top of the hour.
And fascinating, you know, we talk about it in revolutions and everything else, and the CNN eye reports and all those things you see, but we saw that tonight with our viewers and emails and videos sent in, and people with these phones that are, you know, they're cataloging what happened.
Years ago, we wouldn't get the immediacy that you get now, and it's that lightning strike, I must admit.
That was unbelievable.
That was scary.
All right, thanks, Bob. In the meantime, Manhattan Boulevard is an absolute mess. Let's get an update live now from Natasha Robin.
Well, that's right, John. You know, emergency crews are now getting a handle on the widespread damage all along the West Bank, mainly on Manhattan Boulevard, and you can see all the emergency crews here behind me, and it's kind of dark, but power lines all along Manhattan Boulevard are leaning. We understand some of them are down. The lights are all out, so it is pretty dark around here. 18,000 people without power, a majority of those customers here on the West Bank. We're in the parking lot of a shopping center. The windows of the storefronts blown out. We told you earlier about a fire that was going on at a church. That's on Lapelco. It's actually 7300 block of Lapelco. We understand that church is still burning. It was struck by lightning. Joining me now, Councilman Chris Roberts, a little bit of an update. You guys are constantly getting updates. What are you hearing now? And what about in the neighborhoods? What are folks experiencing now in those neighborhoods?
Well, earlier on, we had street flooding, and that's typical when you get a lot of rain in a short period of time. We are hearing about wind damage. Some windows blew out, some tree limbs, awnings on homes. Nothing really major structural damage, however, still damage to property, too. This obviously is the worst area that we know about so far here along Manhattan.
We talked about earlier, some folks said a tornado must have come through here. We have not gotten confirmation of that, but you say it sure does look like it.
Right, we were in the area at the time. It sure does look like it, and other folks that we've talked to as well. There was some roof damage at several of the locations along here, actually out in the street. We have a water main break here on Manhattan as well. There are approximately 50 power poles that are down from Gretna Boulevard to LaPalco, so it's going to take some time to get the power back on here. We don't have estimates yet from Entergy. Entergy is on the scene. We do want to stress, though, with more bad weather expected to come later on, there's a lot of debris in the streets, and therefore a lot of tree limbs and leaves. If you can go out in front of your home and clean your catch basin, you'll be doing us some help and helping yourself as well.
Yeah, and you talked about that next round of storms coming through, and really the parish is preparing. I know the sheriff's office is preparing. The sheriff was here just a little while ago. What are some of the things you guys are doing? Staging areas? What are you doing to prepare for that next round of storms?
Well, the sheriff has set up a command post here on Manhattan to address this situation here. We have drainage crews that are out, and obviously you want to look for obstructions, so a lot of our drainage canals are open. Drainage crews will be going through those areas, doing assessments, seeing if there's any obstructions that we need to get moved out. One of the biggest things that can cause a delay in being able to get water pumped off of a street is if your catch basin in front of your home is clogged. That's why it's so important. We realize it's late, but if you can get up, go outside, check your catch basin, pull any leaves or debris away from it, then that will help us to prevent flooding.
Okay, Councilman, thank you so much for joining us. I think, you know, as the sheriff said, let's hunker down tonight with this next round of storms coming through. But if it's safe enough, if you can go outside and clean in front of that catch basin and, of course, pick up any debris, lawn chairs, or anything that may be around the house, that would be a good idea to do it now. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Natasha Robin. We have more coverage of the storm coming up, but in the meantime, unflattering pictures posted on Facebook are one thing, but one family has launched a court fight against the social media site over images of a murder victim.
We'll tell you about a lawsuit when we come back in just a moment.
As Lakeside Toyota celebrates its 20th anniversary, we want to thank the over 48,000 friends who purchased a new Toyota from us. We also would like to acknowledge the 130 associates that helped make it possible. Carl Meredith, Renee Pochette, Maureen Till, Jeff Lizarod, Mickey Gilroy, Cindy Dajapon, Louise DeLeon, Gary Steve, Mike Chosa, Debbie Masson, Max Amenta, Samir Salman. That's Lakeside Toyota, 20 years strong and getting stronger.
Audubon Aquarium of the Americas has gone to the birds. Join us at Parakeet Point, where you'll meet, greet, and feed a breathtaking array of beautiful birds. Stroll through a tropical paradise that's home to more than 800 free-flying parakeets. Get up close and personal like never before at Parakeet Point, new at Audubon Aquarium.
Somewhere between indulgence and nature lies a place that connects both, where exploration is naturally encouraged, relaxation is as abundant as its sugar-white sand beaches, and adventure abounds. Portofino Island Resort, inspired by nature. Book your spring break getaway now and get your 4th night free. Call 866-719-8883 or visit us online at portofinoexperience.com.
Have you been injured in a car accident or on the job? If so, call the Keating Law Firm. At the Keating Law Firm, we take you through the process step by step, ensuring that you get the personal attention you deserve. If you can't come to our office in Metairie, call us and we'll come to you. 832-2232.
You hear that? That's the sound of my Popeye's Bonafide chicken marinating. It takes 12 hours to marinate that Louisiana flavor down to the bone. My chicken is marinating while you're sleeping. Get 10 pieces of Bonafide for just $9.99.
Louisiana, fast!
Thank you for making Fox 8 Louisiana's Station of the Year. You're watching Fox 8 News.
Facebook is under fire from the family of a murder victim.
They say a paramedic posted the photo of the woman's dead body on Facebook, but the social media site is refusing to cooperate. Linda Schmidt has the story.
I'm just so upset and traumatized over all this. I haven't had a chance to heal yet.
And the Wimmer family blames Facebook for part of their pain. Their daughter Caroline was murdered 2 years ago today. An EMT, Mark Musarella, responded to her apartment after getting a 911 call, and he took pictures of Caroline's battered body, and then he posted them on Facebook. He was later fired. Well, now Wimmer's family says Facebook is refusing to give the pictures back to them.
I just don't understand why Facebook won't just give us the pictures back or destroy them. No one should be able to review them.
Now, federal law prevents the family from suing Facebook for money. What they want are the pictures and the identities of anyone who downloaded them. Plus, they say they want Facebook to act more responsibly in the future.
If they're uploading 10 million shots a month, well, maybe they need to hire. You know, America needs jobs. Maybe they need to hire screeners of these images. And if a picture looks like somebody's dead, immediately delete it and notify the member. What are you doing? Notify law enforcement. Something's wrong.
To know that those pictures are on Facebook for anyone to see kills me. And she was brutally beaten with gashes in her feet.
Facebook issued this statement saying, quote, "The case is without merit and we will fight it vigorously."
That was Linda Schmidt reporting. The photo is no longer on the Facebook site. The parents are also suing their daughter's convicted murderer, the paramedic, the city of New York, and the company that owns the apartment building where Wimmer's body was found.
Dave McNamara's Heart of Louisiana up next.
It's time for the Spring Garden Show at the Botanical Garden in City Park. Brought to you by LSU Ag Center in cooperation with the Metro Horticulture Foundation. Find everything you need for that lovely spring garden. Beautiful exhibits, a variety of educational speakers, live music, plus a special area just for kids. The LSU Ag Center will be on hand to diagnose and make recommendations regarding plant health and insect problems. So come on out Saturday and Sunday and enjoy all the Spring Garden Show has to offer.
It's the A1 Appliance and Electronics Deal of Fortune, the game show where you can spin your way to savings. Get this Frigidaire 18 cubic foot refrigerator for just $3.99. Get this queen size Serta mattress for just $4.99. Everyone's a winner at the A1 Appliance and Electronics Deal of Fortune sale.
Subway Restaurants presents Dinner Time Deals. Every day after 4 p.m. and all day Sunday, get any regular footlong sub for only $5, any 2 regular footlong subs for only $9, or any 3 regular footlong subs for only $12. Subway, eat fresh.
The Honda Really Big 10 event is only at Royal Honda, the only place where really big 10 event savings are on new and pre-owned vehicles. 0 down payment on remaining Royal Honda 2011 Civics, as low as $6 a day, 36 miles per gallon. Civic Hybrids, 40 miles per gallon, and just $9 a day. Exciting savings on Royal's pre-owned inventory, as low as $6,000. The Royal Honda Really Big 10 event. You're right at home at Royal Honda, the dealership that's different. Veterans at I-10 and RoyalHonda.com.
The assessor has to care about people. It's a quality and hallmark of Councilman Tom Capella. Aside from his duties to promote our parish, open government, and write laws to protect us all, he makes time every morning to start his day in a very special way by starting theirs with smiles and warmth at Carpool. An assessor who cares about people. Spending tax bureaucrats won't have a chance. Tom Capella, assessor.
Come to play, dine, or live at Latour Golf Club, featuring an 18-hole course designed by PGA champ David Toms. Less than an hour west of New Orleans and Matthews, Latour is open to the public. Visit LATOURGolfClub.com.
It's the A1 Appliance and Electronics Deal of Fortune, the game show where you can spin your way to savings. Get this washer-dryer front-load pair, just $7.99. Or get this 50-inch flat panel TV now, just $5.99. Everyone's a winner at the A1 Appliance and Electronics Deal of Fortune sale.
Fox 8, your weather authority, is brought to you in part by A1ontheweb.com. You're watching Fox 8 News.
The The town of New Roads used to be connected to New Orleans by the Mississippi River until the river changed its course.
And Dave McNamara tells us tonight that may explain some of the close ties between the small Point Coupee parish town and New Orleans. Here's tonight's Heart of Louisiana.
Some days, there's just no reason to hurry the sunrise. On False River, in the town of New Roads, there's a group of guys who rarely rush through any morning. You'll find them at the Dairy Queen on Highway 1.
You have to start your day doing something, don't you? But probably a total loss to come up here for an hour and a half and fool around with these old guys, but what else do you do?
He knows everything. And that one there, he acknowledged that everybody is right.
Every day it's a new story, new adventure.
He bets me $1 on every game. He always bets against LSU. So he paid me 100 pennies.
Ronnie's always talking about pretty women.
His name on the river is, and we got a picture of him in the paper, his claim to fame on the river is Bud the Stud.
I wear that proudly, by the way.
It's an informal club of sorts with an even less formal name.
Call it the Old Forts Club.
George Miller is a Hurricane Katrina transplant from St. Bernard Parish. He's joined by another former New Orleanian, writer and broadcaster Ronnie Virgins.
I had hoped to get into, for the late innings, to get into throwing a changeup, you know, a little off-speed pitch, and this is definitely off-speed.
New Roads in Point Coupee Parish is one of those small towns where people still wave at passing cars. There's also quite a bit of history, including native son John Lejeune, the former commandant of the Marine Corps. His statue is in front of the courthouse. Point Coupee Parish was settled in the early 1700s, only a few years after New Orleans was founded. It has the oldest Louisiana Mardi Gras outside of New Orleans, and among those born here, former Louisiana Congresswoman Lindy Boggs and former New Orleans Mayor Chet Morrison.
At one time, False River was part of the Mississippi River, but back in the 1700s, the river changed its course.
We got a little bit of everything. We got the Cajun music, we got the Zydeco music, it's Creole, gumbo.
But most of all, they have friendships that they celebrate over breakfast and a cup of coffee almost every morning. They're old friends who've realized that there is a lot to enjoy when you slow down. With the Heart of Louisiana, Dave McNamara, Fox 8 News.
In downtown New Roads, you'll find a public boat launch on False River, which is a popular spot for fishing and boating. More information on all of this at fox8live.com. Just click on Heart of Louisiana. It was not a night. It was a night actually when people wish the weather had slowed down.
I would say, and we're going to have much more on that in just a moment.
It's coming, and there's no stopping it. On April 23rd, it will make 18,000 people run or walk the Crescent City Classic. Will you be ready?
Around here, when you see a herd of built Ford Tough trucks, it can mean only one thing. It's Truck Month. Time for a stampede of savings on the best in America. Now, get F-150, America's best-selling truck, with 0% for 60 months, plus $1,000 in trade-in assistance. Or grab $5,000 in total savings. Big selection, big capability, and now big savings. This is the one and only. This is Truck Month at your local Southern Quality Ford dealers.
Through the spill and the storms, and even while beating cancer, Chris Roberts battled for Jefferson. He rebuilt battered communities, created our first environmental court against blight. Chris wrote the laws to open government.
Without his cooperation, we would not have experienced the successes that we have so far.
Thousands are elected. The great ones use their strength for the public good. Chris Roberts, Councilman at Large.
Now is the time to visit your local steel dealer for the brand bought most from coast to coast.
Check out our line of reliable steel trimmers starting at just $159.99. And dependable steel blowers start at just $149.99.
Join the millions of Americans who have made steel the #1 selling brand of handheld outdoor power equipment in America. For a steel dealer near you, visit steeldealers.com.
Visit Lawn and Saw Shop, The Power Shop, Joe's Lawnmower Shop, or West Bank Lawnmower.
comparable to the Toyota.
Why do so many car companies compare themselves to Toyota? Maybe it's because Toyota is the #1 choice among consumers, or because of vehicles like RAV4, named a best overall value of the year. Get $1,000 cash on a new 2011 RAV4. Lease it for $259 a month or choose 1.9 APR. And every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, featuring 2 years complimentary maintenance. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
You're watching Fox 8 News.
We have an update again on some severe weather tonight. We're being told a tornado watch has just come out and will last until 5 a.m. We're not sure of the details yet on what areas are covered in that, but Bob Breck will have all the details on that new tornado watch coming up at 10 o'clock. Iraqi gunmen stormed a government building and killed at least 56 people in the northern part of the country. The gunmen entered the building disguised in military uniforms. They wore explosives underneath. Now, the men took 15 hostages who were shot later execution style. After a 5-hour standoff, the gunmen set off their explosives. 98 people were wounded in the attack. You might not have to check your mail on Saturdays in the future. The Postal Service could save about $3 billion a year by cutting back to 5-day delivery, according to the Government Accountability Office. The Post Office lost $8.5 billion last year and has proposed eliminating Saturday delivery as a way of reducing costs. Coming up at 10, we'll get back to our extended weather team coverage of tonight's violent spring storms.
Has your business suffered losses from the BP oil spill? I'm attorney Frank D'Amico Jr., and I can help you recover those losses. But deadlines are quickly approaching and time is running out. Call a local attorney you know and trust. Call me today.
It's great golf, great food, and great music at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans, April 27th through May 1st at the TPC, Louisiana. It's butterfly shrimp, better than Ezra, and a great big party for you, and eagles and birdies for 156 of the world's greatest golfers. Come join us and have a great time while benefiting children's charities through the 4Kids Foundation. Ticket packages start at just $25. Call 342-3000 or visit any Rouse's supermarkets.
36 miles per gallon on the highway. iVTEC engine, the Honda Civic.
I love it.
Hey, right now you can really save big on one. Come on, I'll show you. All right. Give me a boost.
Yeah. Okay, over.
Hurry into Honda's Really Big Things sales event. Get 0.9% financing on a 2011 Civic for up to 60 months for qualified buyers. See your Honda dealer today.
Letting a home-raising opportunity pass you by? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to raise and beautify your home at no cost to you. Up to $160,000 is available.
Nobody does a better job. Nobody delivers a better finished product. Nobody knows the grant program or has more qualified staff than Orleans Storing. Nobody.
Call 888. Elevate. Call right now. Don't need to wait. Orleans Shoring. Never flood again.
Has your business suffered losses from the BP oil spill? I'm attorney Frank D'Amico Jr., and I can help you recover those losses. But deadlines are quickly approaching and time is running out. Call a local attorney you know and trust. Call me today.
You're watching Fox 8 News.
If you're working to lose weight, don't stress out over it. A new study by Kaiser Permanente shows people trying to lose 10 pounds are more likely to be successful when they're not stressed out. Doctors note getting between 6 and 8 hours of sleep at night also helps.
Are you worried at all?
Of course. It's a cobra.
A missing snake has some Bronx Zoo visitors on edge. The zoo's venomous Egyptian cobra has been missing since last week. Zookeepers are confident the snake is hiding somewhere inside their reptile house. They'll keep the house closed until they find the snake. An Egyptian cobra bite can cause a person to suffer respiratory failure in 15 minutes. Well, coming up on Fox 8 News at 10, we'll have the latest on a new tornado watch that was issued just a little while ago. Bob Breck will tell you what area that covers, and also live reports from Plaquemines Parish and Jefferson Parish on tonight's storm. Now the lottery show.
Good evening and welcome to the Louisiana Lottery Show. Here are tonight's winning numbers. Things were popping in Ringgold when Willie Glover pulled down a cool $5,800 playing Pick 4. Play your favorite four-digit number. Thank you for tuning in and playing. All drawings are witnessed by a legislative auditor.